Hello and welcome back to part 22 of Let's Play Link's Awakening DX. I'm NHSDL6 and I'm way too excited. For no reason. We recently acquired the final item in the trading sequence, the magnifying lens, and we will find out what we're going to do with that eventually. But first, we are going to head back to the Ukuku Prairie, to a place which is very close to the location of where we got our final seashell, where we ran into that tree by the telephone booth at the entrance to the prairie. We're going to head back there, and we're going to head south there because we have a little side quest that we have to do that is mandatory in order for you to finish the game. And a note, if you are going to do this, you need to make sure that you have at least 300 rupees or your entire time there will be in vain. But luckily there's a lot of slimes to attack while you're there, so hopefully getting money shouldn't be a problem. There's there's definitely a lot of slimes there, so you shouldn't have any trouble. Alright, so as we make our way back, this episode is going to be full of shoutouts once again, because I love shoutouts, because I really like people. But first, we are going to go to the fairy fountain, and we are going to heal up, and we are not going to use the speed up button, aka the space bar, because that would be a lack of integrity. And if you can hear that, that's my sister telling my dog to go outside. Wonderful. So, as you hear my dog bound down the stairs. She's pretty agile for a 13-year-old dog. But anyway, so this is where we need to head. We need, you can come here anytime after you get the ocarina, the Pegasus boots, the hook shot. So basically, you can't, I guess, in essence, this place is pretty useless to come to before the 5th dungeon, so you might not want to bother. And like I said, there's plenty of slime, so if you don't have at least 300 rupees, you'll get them in time. Okay, that's the sign you need to start with. Basically, it will tell you which direction to go. All you need to do is head that way from the sign that you just touched, and that's it. You just need to do this over and over and over and over again. It's really repetitive and silly, so just follow the directions on the sign and you shouldn't have any problems. So, while I'm doing this, let's get these shoutouts a-rolling, shall we? First off, all these people I recently started watching, so I don't know too much about their stuff, but I like what I've seen so far. So, I'm going to give you guys the heads up so you can check them out as well. First off, we have Sickjeremiah. He is doing a Let's Play of Donkey Kong Country. He has told me that he has actually finished the game. He is just taking his time to upload them. Completely reasonable, because I saw that he uploaded at least 3 parts in a day, and you know, I can normally only do 1 every day or 1 every 2 days, so I was just amazed that he could do 3 in a day. But anyway, yeah, he's doing Donkey Kong Country. Check him out. Next, we have Kayla1 Jade. She's doing Final Fantasy Tactics Advance, which is one of my all-time favorite Game Boy Advance games. It only falls second to the original Fire Emblem for the Game Boy Advance. Final Fantasy Tactics, I believe I have almost 400 hours in that game, because, needless to say, a Game Boy is your best friend on a trip to Florida, because you can only read and listen to music for so long. Okay, number 3, we have ElliotCarver. He is doing a Let's Play of R.D. Lightfoot. Very interesting game for Super Nintendo. It looks like a cat riding a balloon. Never really heard of it before, but it's interesting, so give him a look. Pretty cool. And now, back to the game real quick. After you finish, that stairway will open up, and for 300 rupees, you can get your final song on your ocarina by a character who looks mysteriously like Wart from Super Mario Bros. 2. And while you're at it, your ears will bleed and you will have a seizure, so enjoy this. And while that's happening, you may want to turn your speakers up, only so you can hear my wonderful voice. Okay, number 4, we have Max Knight 1010 101. I hope I had the right amount of numbers. If I didn't, I'm sorry. Maybe I added too many ones and zeros. But anyway, Max Knight, lots of numbers, binary code. He is doing a Let's Play of Shining Force 2. It is a game I've never played myself. I've heard lots of good things about it, and it looks like it has very interesting perspective when it comes to the battles and the locations of the battles. So definitely check out that game. It's really, really cool. And finally, I believe this guy is subscribed to all of the members of the group. Since we publicize one another so much, it's pretty easy to find the other three of us. But anyway, that's what it's all about. Spreading the word. The final guy in my shout-out extravaganza is 7up07. He is doing a Dragon Quest VIII LP. Dragon Quest VIII, the character design was made by Akira Toriyama, the guy who made Dragon Ball Z, and I used to be a really big fan of DBZ, so you know that's a game that I've never played before myself. I know I say that a lot, but I don't really have a very expansive game library that I can say that I've played. But anyway, Dragon Quest VIII. I've played a couple of the Dragon Quests for the Game Boy and the one for the DS. It looks really, really cool. So definitely give it a look. And his commentary is great. So yeah, definitely good. Okay, now we're headed back down to Toronto Shores because this is the whole reason. Well, one of the two reasons why we got the magnifying lens. Upcoming on this screen, there is a bombable wall that we could not get to earlier. You can come here earlier in the game, but this will be an empty cavern. So what you're gonna need to do is bomb a wall, obviously, and now that we have the magnifying lens, we'll actually be able to see who's in here. Get out your get any item you would like to trade. For me, it's the shovel. Put it in your B spot. I found a good item washed up on the beach. I'll trade it to you for what you have in your B button. Definitely. Why not? The shovel is definitely nowhere near as cool as the boomerang. Boomerang is only second place in my heart to the hook shot. It's ridiculously overpowered. An example of why I say that is because the final boss in this game can be defeated one of two ways. One way I will not tell you because it is what I'm going to do myself, and the other way, you can beat him with one shot of your boomerang. So you can either spend a lot longer doing the way that I'm going to do, or you can use the boomerang. So it's definitely really, really, really overpowered. It's only one stage in this game, unlike the magical boomerang in the other games, but it's still definitely one of the greatest items here. And something interesting to note is that the boomerang is the only item that you can throw diagonally. So, I mean, I guess that kind of makes sense. You wouldn't really be able to do any of the other ones. Maybe the hook shot, but, you know. And now that we have the third song in Ocarina, we can push the flying rooster that sleeps here, aka is dead. So underneath there we find some bones in a cavern. And we were told that this song can waken the dead, so let's do it. And this is just really creepy for me. It's this weird flashing orb with a tail, the little soul of the rooster. I don't know. It just seems really creepy to me that you can do that. Might just be superstition or something, but that's just weird. So now that we have our rooster friend, which you absolutely have to do in order to progress to the 7th dungeon. If you do not get that rooster, you will not be able to do that. The rooster is mandatory for you to do that. You have to. Because you need his ability to fly. You can pick him up, which you'll see later. Not in this segment, but you can pick him up and he will take you to places you haven't been before. But first, before we do that, I'm going to do a little fishing because there is a heart piece in this pond. The object of this is to, using the left and the right analog buttons, or the D-pad, sorry. Using the left and the right on the D-pad, you can aim your cast, and you can try to get the fish. The fish that you want is the one that's closest to the shore. What I like to do is hold right on the D-pad, and that will bring the cast in pretty far, and then you can catch the fat fish. The one that's in that little indentation is the one that you want. And I apologize if there's a loud button mashing. It's really hard to do on a keyboard. So now you get your 20 rupees and you get a piece of heart. So that should be 3 that I have so far. I need to get 9 more, which I will do as I progress. Not yet, but I will. I was gonna make a part for it, but I decided against it. It just, I don't know. I get the seashells. It's a little different because there's 20 of them, and it's really annoying having to make time to go get all of them. But the heart pieces are a little more individual, and they're kind of more important. So we'll do that later. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. I've been NHSTL6. Thank you for watching, and subscribe.
It's too late to apologize. It's too late. I said it's too late to apologize. It's too late.